congratulations. What were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, really good performance. From start to finish. Maybe 5 minutes after 3-0, where I thought, we needed to just be a little bit more disciplined as well, because you're always striving for more. But overall, I couldn't be happier for the playing group. To get the rewards of, what was last week a difficult week for us travel-wise, and we freshened up this week, and it was the first time we've had a chance to put 3 sessions prior to a game, and we put it to good use, and the players executed really well.
Do you think if you continue playing at that sort of level, you will win enough games to get into the finals and hopefully do some damage when you get there?
Look, I think at times performances, they're varied, based on a lot of factors, but there's been similar performances at times without getting the rewards as well. So, like everything, it's a good performance tonight. Tomorrow's a new day, and we've got to prepare for what's going to be a very tough game, in Newcastle against Melbourne Victory, who showed last night, where they're at as well. And we need our supporters here next Saturday, most importantly.
I was going to say, Melbourne Victory, are they going to be, a step up, a higher level than Perth were today?
Yeah, I think so. But if you look at their game in Perth, Perth really did quite well against them as well. So, the league has a lot of inconsistency in it, because if you look at the results this weekend, you'd be hard pressed to try to predict the kind of results that have happened this week after the previous round's games as well. So I think the most important thing is to focus on ourselves and prepare as well as we can, and make sure we put on another strong performance at home.
I think you've got the second most goals in the league now. Normally any team that scores that many goals will generally do make the finals.
Yeah, I mean, scoring goals is critical, obviously, in terms of the way we want to play and to change, transform, the dynamic of, what was here and what we're trying to become. Doesn't necessarily mean you'll be in the finals, but the more goals you score, I think, the more likelihood is that we'll be in with a shot.
And what did you think of the early challenge on Daniel Penner there that got the yellow card? You were, asking him to be protected last week. Did you think a yellow card was sufficient for that, or?
I need to see it again, but like I said in the preview to the game, that I felt that Daniel's really been targeted heavily from opponents, and he missed the game through suspension for getting tackled, and today's tackle was in line with that as well. And referee makes his decision. I just my point of view is that we need to protect the players that really bring something to this league in terms of creativity and quality, and Daniel's one of those players.
And you had a couple of your own guys get yellow cards. Are they now out of the next game with suspension, or how's that sort of sit?
Yeah, there'll be 2 players out from the next game. Matt German and Angus Thurgate will be suspended. I prefer that we review them. I think, especially the one on Gus, I don't understand how that's a yellow card. And then, when you've got the same game and you've got a player from their team on a yellow card who commits 2 fouls after his yellow card, doesn't get punished, and Gus has his first foul and gets a yellow card, which I don't even think's a foul, to be honest. So we'll look at it, and if there's an opportunity to appeal it, we will.
No worries. Thanks, Arthur.
Thanks, Rob.
And Joey?
Hi, Arthur. Congratulations on the win. Just a comment on Beckham Miltadze. He's got a hat-trick today. He's got 12 goals now on the season. Do you think he's the best striker in the league?
Definitely think he's one of the best strikers in the league, with a lot of growth still remaining in him. He's 24 years old, first time playing, outside of Europe, and he's come here and he worked so hard. He had a difficult couple of weeks after COVID. You could see that physically. It was a challenge for him to get through the games that we had in the previous 2 games. So today it was really good to see him get rewards and get into the box when he needs to be in the box, and he's a good finisher, so he took his goals well.
Well, you talk about his growth. How good do you think he can be?
Yeah, I mean, with most players, to be honest, Joey, you don't really want to put a ceiling on where they can go. I just know that technically, he's right up there with players that I've worked with. His attitude and mentality towards football, he's so focused on wanting to be the best he can. And like I said, there's a lot of growth in him. We caught up this week and spoke about areas in his game that I still think he can improve. And there is still a lot of growth. Where that takes him is up to him in the end, because like I think we've brought a quality player into the league. Most importantly, who's come here, and our supporters love him as well because of the mentality that he has on the field. Most importantly.
And Becca and Daniel, you've both brought them in. They're not the traditional foreigner archetype. They're relatively young. You've brought them in. Just was that important for you to just diverge from the norm when it came to finding your foreigners?
I think it's in line with probably my journey that it's not the normal either, Joey. So if it'd be quite interesting if I just followed the path of what a lot of sort of foreigners are in terms of makeup. I think having had experiences overseas, I just know that there are really good players out there, and they don't have to be past their prime to come into the A-League and contribute. So I think it doesn't work all the time, but in fairness, I think with Daniel and Becca, they've come in and they've really added something to Newcastle Jets, and more importantly to the league.
Cool. That's all from me. Cheers.
Thanks, Joe.
Any more guys?
Actually, back to Becca. He's now, I think, a couple of goals behind Jamie McLaren. Do you think that'll motivate him to try and get the Golden Boot?
Absolutely. Knowing Becca as a character, yeah, he's hungry to score more goals. So he doesn't want to just he plays for the team. He does everything for the team, but he's desperate to score more goals. I know that, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he continues for the rest of the season.